Hi everybody, welcome to the SBR exam tips for June 2019. Just to give you an overview about the key things to look out for. So let's go through this question wise. You have 4 questions in the exam. You have a 3-hour, 15-minute exam. Question 1 of your exam is predominantly based around consolidation. 15 to 16 marks out of 30 will be around consolidation. Now please remember, the consolidation is not about preparation of financial statements, or the focus is not on the calculation. You must be able to explain what's happening. You must be able to explain the consolidation concept. For example, explaining the goodwill calculation. Make sure you go through the cost of investments very well, the different kinds of cost of investments, especially the deferred and contingent. You probably get a scenario where you have to talk about the disposal scenarios, the 3 disposal scenarios that we studied. So if you remember the 3 disposal scenarios we studied, the first one being the full disposal, what is the impact of that? What if there's a partial disposal? That is, it moved from a subsidiary to an associate or a subsidiary to an investment. And finally, what's the implication if you're selling without losing control, known as transactions within equity? So this is within the consolidation framework, or within the consolidation standard, but like I said, be able to explain your points very well rather than just calculate. In that question 1, you'll also have the remaining marks on some accounting standards. They might put in some current issue element, a small element. Make sure you go through the definitions of the framework of the asset, liability, and be able to do any of the accounting standards. It's very bad practice to just guess what might be the accounting standard. Make sure you go through the FR as well as the SBR accounting standards that we've done in our classes. Question 2 of the exam, which is 20 marks, is going to be based around ethics along with accounting standards. This, like we discussed and we practiced a lot, is a very, very good question. Reason being because you know there is something unethical happening. You know one of the 5 principles of integrity, objectivity, professional competence, professional behavior, one of them will be compromised. And you need to address those ethical principles. Please do not rewrite these 5 principles of ethics, but apply it within the scenario. Explain what is going on in that scenario. Think about the implications about those things being wrongly stated. Think about the implications for the company, the accountant as well. What are the things the accountant should do? And the accounting standards that we'll test could be a variety. It could be from the SBR, like a related party, segmental reporting, to a FR element as well for held for sale, revaluations, impairments. These are no way to say that these are the only topics that would come up, but to give you an example that it could be a breadth of knowledge that you must do. At least go through the summaries of those accounting standards so you can start and understand the question as well. So that's section A, question 1 and question 2. Section B has 2 questions, that is questions 3 and 4. And 3 things will be tested within that. 1 is accounting standards, like we've already discussed. It will give you a small scenario. You got to identify the issue, talk about the accounting elements with that. But no ethics in that in question 3 and 4. So it could be around revenue, for example. It could be on financial instruments. It could be on pensions or share appreciation rights. Any of the topics that we discussed. The second element within that could be on current issues. Current issues meaning things that are going to happen new in the world, along with the problems with existing standards. So make sure you go through the profit and loss and OCI. What are the challenges with that? Think about, secondly, the element that exists, the problems that exist as well with any other existing standard. Third element is the disclosures. There's an article on disclosures called Bin the Clutter, how there are excessive disclosures in the accounts. Whilst doing current issue topic, remember to go through a couple of additional articles on APM, the alternative or additional performance measures, like the EBITDA. What does it mean? What are the implications? Also within the current issues article, there is something on cryptocurrency, which I would encourage you to have a read through. So make sure you read these articles which are there on the ACCA website for the current issue topics. The second and the last bit is the investor analysis, which talks about challenges in the financial statements when people are analyzing, looking at financial statements, the difficulties they face. And this could be any accounting standard, but the focus is about the fact that there is inconsistency, there is subjectivity involved, and that is what makes it difficult to compare. It makes it difficult to understand. Whilst doing all of this, please remember to keep calm, be relaxed. There are things that you might come across that you haven't seen, but it's okay. Don't panic. Just, if you can't attempt it, move on to the next element. It's not the end of the world if you can't answer every mark of that exam. Please focus on your time management. Being a 90% or at least even more, 95% written-based exam, people tend to run over their time. So make sure when you practice at home, you're practicing that you're finishing the exam within that time allocated. So wish you all the best. Hope to see you all smiling on 6th of June.